Hi everyone. Today we're going to work with the knee, which as you know from your reading and perusal of those lecture notes is often referred to as the perfect joint. It joins two bones, works through flexion and extension, and as we know lateral movement is limited and should be. We'll do some nice opening for the fibular and tibular ligaments and move into some of that synovial fluid to warm up the spaces between the joints. So without further ado, here we go. We're going to start on the back body in a waving bridge. So bending those knees, walk the heels in quite close, soft tuck at the chin, ground down through the feet. With your next inhale, lift the hips up to the sky, allow for that little stretch, and you may feel that action happening in that tibular ligament that connects the patella and the quadricep. Lower back down on an exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We'll do a few more passes here, noticing any sensations that may be arising in the knee or the surrounding muscles. Inhale. And exhale. Last inhale. And exhale. And lower back down. Walk those feet wide to the edges of the mat. We're going to wag the knees side to side. So I love this windshield wiper stretch for a hip rotation, but noticing how this translates to sensation in the knee. Maybe getting a little tug on that fibular ligament that runs laterally. Great. Scoop up those knees, give them a little hug. Gently shift onto the side. We'll roll over onto tabletop. Finding that perfect tabletop as you know how. Wrist, elbow, shoulder, knees, hips distance. Do pad the knee if you're noticing any tenderness in the patella where that disc meets the earth. And we're going to move through C shapes. So feet are flat. With your next exhale, draw hip to shoulder, gazing in the same direction. Back to center, hip to the opposite shoulder. So you may very well be feeling a stretch in the obliques, but again, notice if there's any sensation that translates down to the IT band, iliotibial band, right? So we know now it really is connected to that tibular ligament. One more. Each side. And now we'll move through cat-cow. Curl the toes, send the sits bones up, soften the belly, lift the heart and gaze. Exhale, feet flat, tailbone reaches as you round in dome. Inhale. And exhale. Now remember, supporting our quadriceps is also supporting our knee joint as they are connected. Exhale, let's go ahead and pause here, exaggerate that cat pose, walk the fingers in closer to the thighs and deeply round and dome. Walk the hands forward, lower down onto the belly. We're going to bring the elbows right underneath the shoulders. And then belly is resting kind of effortlessly here. If you'd like to bring in a little action for the core, go ahead and hug the tummy in and up. So you've got this engagement here. It'll also support the low back. We're going to alternate leg kick, heels towards the glute. Kick, kick. Again, feeling that stretch for the quadricep. Lower back down. Kick, kick, lower back down. Couple like that. We want to keep those quads limber so they can help support that flexion and extension of the knee. Also keep them strong, right? So everything stays exactly where it should. Kick, kick, kick. Let's do one more set. Kick and lower, kick and lower. We're going to shift to double leg kicks. So just notice if you have anything coming up for the back or if that felt like enough extension and flexion for the knee, stay there. Otherwise, we'll come to rest on one side of the face, interlacing the fingers behind the back body. Tummy stays pretty engaged here to support the back as you kick both feet towards the glute. Lower the toes, make sure they make contact with the earth, and now lift to extend through the chest, okay? You're gonna shift to the opposite side, so opposite cheek to the mat. Kick, kick, press, and lift. Let's do 2 more on each side. Kick, kick, press, and lift. Kick, kick, press, and lift. Lower down. 1 more on this side. Press and lift. And last one here. Press and lift. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Send the hips up and back. Child's pose, we arrive. Get a little rock maybe. Massage the brow. Taking out any residual back bend. Feeling those knees are supported. We're going to shift to down dog. So, tucking in your shirt if it matters. So, from child's pose, you've got the arms extended. Curl the toes behind you. Now send the hips up and back. Legs are pretty straight here. You can feel that lift in the kneecap as it fires up the quadricep. Head and neck hangs free. Now I'm going to ask you to roll onto the balls of the feet and just bend the knees. So you're getting a little bit of spring action here. You may feel some engagement in the quadricep. Softening into the knees. Notice any sensation, any sounds that may be arising. Lift and lower. Come on back to your down dog. We're going to do that one more time. Rolling onto the balls of the feet. And now like this sweet little springing action. Bending lightly into the knees. Never really locking out. So keeping that soft space behind the knees. Ooh, I'm getting a little fire in the quads. Yes. Lift and lower those heels. Take a breath. Moving forward, variation includes down dog, roll through high plank, bend, come back to that spring action as you lower the heels in down dog. Remember, knees are soft, or if it's comfortable to do so, knees are down, sending the hips back to child's, and then this kind of modified plank, so the hips are drawing slightly forward. It's not a true tabletop, so you're engaging your core. And you can move from child's to this modified plank variation, or down dog, roll through high plank. And now notice what happens to the knees here, bending and sending hips to the sky. Let's do a few more like that. Again, that knee down option is available as well. Roll through, nail that plank, bend and lift. You've got that nice little springy action for the knees. And roll. 2 more. And roll. Last one. Haha. And come on up. So whether in down dog or child's pose, take a breath or 2 here to reset. Notice any sensations that are arising. We're going to go ahead and lower the knees to the mat. Shifting into, I don't know. Great. We're going to come right to the knees and move through a knee down crescent. So feel welcome to support the knee with a cushion or a blanket. I'm going to walk one leg forward, and I'm going to ask you to notice what happens to my knee here. As I press the top of my foot, it hovers slightly off the mat before I come forward to lunge. So it is always protected, never rubbing or rolling on that patella. So I'm just show you what that looks like from this angle. So I walk one leg forward and pressing to hover slightly and then roll forward off to get that hip flexor extension. And my hand can rest on the thigh here, or maybe my arms reach overhead and I shift into a back bend. Notice what feels possible. So we're getting a really rich stretch here for that quadricep, which in turn helps lengthen through the knee. Pressing down again with the top of that foot to reverse, and then switch sides. So this top of this foot rests, the opposite leg walks forward, pressing into the foot to support the knee as you come forward. And then again, the hand can rest on the thigh or reach overhead. You decide. Opening up that hip flexor, supporting the quadricep, and in doing so, supporting the strength and integrity of that perfect knee joint. Safely come on out, little pressure in the top of the foot to support the knee. And we're gonna move to camel variation, and we worked this with the hip flexors as well. So feel welcome to curl the toes to reduce that angle. Always feel welcome to pad the knees if there's friction or discomfort. Hands rest at that iliac crest, that bony ledge right where the flesh of the glute begins. Hug the elbows in. Now this may be just enough, right? Shifting the hip points forward, opening up through that hip flexor. Or if you'd like to come a little deeper, you can simply flatten the feet and allow this opening, or fuller variation, releasing the hands to find the heels and coming into a deep back bend. So this can be a lot. So just notice where you're at today. Coming out simultaneously so as to not torque the back, hug the tummy, and return. Let's try that one more time. So curling the toes, heels are lifted, hands rest at the base of the spine, elbows hug in. This is a nice opening for the chest as well. And then shifting the hip points forward, simply allow for that opening in the hip flexor and the quadricep. Coming deeper, feet are flat, hands reach simultaneously for the heels, right? We want to keep that integrity in the spine. Heart continues to shine open. Wherever you're at today is a perfect place to be. Honor your body, honor yourself. You're here. If you're coming through this fuller variation, do engage the core. Come out simultaneously. Shifting down, knees draw wide, big toes touch, back on the heels, child's pose, we arrive. Coming back up. Thank you all for your practice today. Thank you for sharing your time, your space, and your energy. Any questions, comments, concerns, I'd love to hear from you. I'm going to keep those modules just open so you can work through them at your own pace. And I miss your smiling faces. Hoping you're well. Bye.